On the show this week, a reading for the day ahead. Hi everyone, welcome back. Well, this is rather exciting, isn't it? Today I'm going to be putting down 4 cards as a reading for the day ahead. The idea of this is not exactly to predict what's going to happen in the day ahead. It's a kind of meditation. It helps one to get closer to the tarot cards. It helps one to make those intuitive connections between the images and the events of a day. It encourages you to slow down, to think about what's happening in the day, how you feel about it, what the implications are, what is being worked out in the day. I made these recordings a week or 2 ago, and now I'm putting it all together into a video to demonstrate exactly how to do it. I'm using the same spread that I normally use for my monthly readings. That's 4 cards where we see the main theme of the day, the past influences or the underlying influences, the roadblocks of the day, and the opportunities of the day. Let's see what happened. Okay, so here we are. It's Saturday, the 10th of April, and I'm going to put down 4 cards for the day ahead. Now, I'm going to use the spread I usually use for the month ahead because I like it. I think it's smart, it ticks all the boxes, it has it all in a nutshell. And my question is to the universe, please give me 4 cards about the day ahead this Saturday. I cut the cards. Okay, my first impression, one always has a little bit of a fright when one sees the 3 of Swords, but this is a reversed 3 of Swords, and my way of reading reversals really is to negate their meanings. So what I'm getting here is that the day doesn't have to be a difficult day. I am scheduled for my first COVID vaccination today. I'm going to the Science Museum, which is very exciting for that. I thought I'd do it in style. I'm in London. I thought I'd nip in and get a jab, but I've been a little bit anxious about that. My arm has been aching in advance of the vaccination, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm hoping that this means it doesn't have to be a difficult day. Although I am seeing here the possibilities. Well, I feel this position is slightly a future card, and it does look like a rest. It's the hospitalization card, and I suppose what I'm picking up is that I will have to have a lie down at some stage, either this evening or tomorrow after this COVID jab. I'm also going to be meeting my friend Michael, with whom I'm writing a tarot book, and I'm also going to be having an online meeting with, well, an art collective I'm collaborating with later in the day. So I've got some nice project meetings coming up. This I find mysterious at the moment. It's a reversed moon. Obstacles, a reversed obstacle. Part of the function of this exercise is to put the cards down and then, as the day goes on, to see how the day relates to the cards. It's an exercise to strengthen your connection with the cards. It's an exercise to help you to get into an intuitive relationship with the cards. So I don't really immediately know what that means. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to know. Let's just see how the day goes. A reversed moon in the obstacles position. And here we have, as our past influences, the underlying theme of the day, we have a reversed 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups are rather a bit of a stalemate card, a bit of a low energy card. Bit of stagnation there, not accepting help. And I am feeling pretty good today because I finally got to see my favourite healer, alternative doctor in London yesterday after about probably a year. And so I got a fantastic, well, you could say a shot in the arm from that session with him. And I do feel my body is, my whole system has been really helped and boosted by that. So, okay, that's the mystery for me. And we're going to come back to it later, at the end of the day, or maybe in the next few days, when I review this reading in light of what happened. Okay, so the first stop of the day is the Science Museum, where there is a vaccination centre, and I'm going to have my AZ COVID vaccination there. Off we go. We have the V&A Museum, and then I think the next one is the Science Museum. They're all so beautiful. You can hardly really tell the difference. Oh no, silly me, it's that one. Very, very monumental. Okay, so I've had my vaccination and it was absolutely not a Three of Swords experience. Everyone was absolutely charming and wishing you a lovely day, and I didn't have to wait, and it was a lovely environment. So Three of Swords? No. Let go of those fears, those horrors. I feel good, actually. Well, this is rather interesting, isn't it? It's now 12:30 and I'm having a Four of Swords moment. I was very early for my vaccination. The travel was much quicker than I thought, and I found myself with an extra 90 minutes. So I went back to my sister's house where I'm staying, and I'm having a break before I go on to my next meeting. So opportunities of the day? Four of Swords, an unexpected opportunity to lie down and get my strength back. Well, after I'd had my little rest, I went back into town and I met my friend Michael Atavar for a meeting in the park with a little bit of social distance, and we talked about the book that we're writing together. It's a book about the tarot. I'm very excited about this project. Michael's a friend from the old days, but you know, we didn't actually know each other particularly well when I was living in London. Our paths crossed, as it were, during some theatre work. Later, I had been reading Michael's books. He writes books about creativity and strategies for increasing your creativity. And Michael has, in fact, produced two sets of cards, which I call oracle cards, and he doesn't. But they're kind of strategy cards. They are, I suppose you could say, randomizing cards, but they're cards. And I thought to myself, well, I'm writing a book about the tarot, and Michael has this very interesting take on creativity, and I see tarot as a way of unlocking one's creativity. So why don't I ring him up and ask him whether he'd like to collaborate on that? So I rang him up and he said yes. So I want to relate this to the reversed Four of Cups that came up in the reading. The Four of Cups is when one is sulking and when one is expecting things to just sort themselves out. One is hoping that the solutions will be handed to one on a plate. Now, in this case, I was proactive. I took a risk and I picked up the phone and I said to Michael, would you like to collaborate on a book? And I see this now as a reversed Four of Cups energy. I decided not to be that person who just sits under a tree waiting for life to hand him the solutions on a plate. And now I am reaping the benefits of that. We're having a great time collaborating. It's going to be a great book. Well, it's now about 8 in the evening and I'm coming to the end of the day and I'm reviewing my day and I'm looking at my cards. So the day has not been a horror. It's the fears that I had surrounding the vaccination really were quite groundless. The vaccination part of the day, which I think does relate to this image of the swords going through the heart. I was jabbed after all. The vaccination part of the day was easy and rather delightful. And the meeting with Michael, certainly I've been reaping the benefits of, as I said, you know, getting up and making that call and making things happen and being proactive, which I like to think is a nice way of interpreting this reversed Four of Cups, this refusal of the Four of Cups energy. The reverse moon was my third card. Let's put it to one side. And there were several opportunities actually for rest during the day. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a very hectic and demanding day, but I was able to grab little moments to get my strength back here and there. So even though it has been a bit of a big day, I've been able to find moments of rest. Now this reversed moon card in the obstacles position, kind of complicated tarot grammar here. I'm going to take this reversal to mean a refusal or a denial. And so it seems that what maybe holds me back, what my challenge is in today, is the denial of the moon energy. And the moon is a test, and the moon is a melancholy card. And what occurs to me, what comes up, is that there is always this melancholy around at the moment. Coming to England to visit my mother in a care home, it's not a nice situation. It's a rather melancholy part of life. And I live in Germany. I'm a long way away. It's complicated to decide whether I want to be there or here. Travel is very complicated. It's not nice. It's a testing situation. There's no way around it. The moon is a card you always have to go through. I have to go through with this. There are no easy answers. And if I deny that that's going on emotionally, then that will hold me back. That's not a very positive thing to do. Okay, so that's how I'm going to interpret my obstacle positions today. My intention was not to come up with any grand revelations in this exercise. It was merely to demonstrate and to show you how one can connect with the cards and get to know them as part of a daily practice or as part of a practice. It doesn't have to be every day. I actually don't really have a daily tarot practice. I do other things, and tarot is something that I do as much as I want to do. But as an exercise, as a practice, it is very nice to relate the cards to your day. There are other ways of doing it. There are other spreads, some of them very useful, some of them I wouldn't recommend, but this is a pretty good balanced starter. And maybe tomorrow I will be able to tell you more about how this day panned out. I'll be able to tell you whether I went down with some frightful reaction to the vaccination or not. We shall see. You have been watching Robert Farrah's Tea and Tarot. Join me next week for more of this stuff. And of course, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Bye.